All right, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for being late. Had a late breakfast, and then I had to take care of Kenzo and make sure he was good. But let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way. Yes, but I did not update chat. My apologies. Let me do this. Copy that. Copy that. Copy this. Copy this. Paste there, and there we go. So now chat's good. All right. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another reading of Jujutsu Kaisen. This will be my final physical volume reading of Jujutsu before we go to Viz's official site and then read the rest of the chapters from there. I finally caught up with all the volumes, not all the chapters, but all the volumes of Jujutsu. I still got some more to go for One Punch Man, but for Jujutsu, I'm getting closer to catching up, and I'm happy. But today, we are going to be going through Volume 17 of the series. Now, just to do a little bit of a recap, actually, it would make sense if I just do the recap from here after I find out how many chapters we got. Hold on. We got chapters 143 through 152, Perfection, Preparation, Epilogue, and then it begins with chapter 143 one more time. Now, to do a little bit of a recap, because the pages involved. I don't know why. It skipped ahead. It skipped ahead of the entire. Oh, come on. Come on. It was going so smoothly. It skipped ahead of my entire synopsis. I gotta do it again. Good to see Ogata-san. Curse. Hardship, regret, shame. The misery that comes from these negative human emotions can lead to death. On October 31st, cursed spirits seal off Shibuya and ensnare Gojo. I want to do this completely without interruption. As the Jujutsu sorcerers frantically try to rescue Gojo, Itadori defeats Mahito in a fierce struggle. However, Noritoshi Kamo, who is in control of Geto's corpse, steals Mahito's power and leaves. Cursed spirits spread throughout Tokyo. Having killed countless people and failing to free Gojo, Itadori leaves Jujutsu High with Choso, only to be attacked by Naoya Zenin and the special grade sorcerer Okotsu. And last we left off, Yuta basically stabbed Yuji in the chest, and Choso was about to, do some serious damage to Naoya, but then Yuta showed up. Chapter 143. One more time. So, but it's seriously called One More Time. And Yuta says, "Looks like you're hurt, Naoya." And then Naoya glares at him. "Don't look down on me, kid." And then he starts shaking, and then he just throws up. What? Poison? Can blood manipulation do that? No, this isn't the effect of a curse technique. There was so much blood. He isn't human. A fully fleshed curse. My body's rejecting the non-human blood. And then Yuta says, "Shall I heal you? My reverse curse technique can heal people in return. My reverse curse technique can heal people. In return, please inform your superiors of Itadori's death." And then it cuts to someone going, Jin. What? What? Hold up. Jin. Yes, father. Hold on, someone just rung my doorbell all of a sudden. Apologies for that. But we got someone going, Jin. And then there has this other guy going, yes, father. If it's about her, I'm leaving. And this looks like Yuji's grandfather. What in the world is going in there? Jin, you can live your life however you like, but give up on that woman. You'll die. Don't talk about such things in front of Yuji. They say babies remember more than we think. Wait, is this Yuji's dad? Is this Yuji's dad? Jin, you can live your life however you like, but give up on that woman. You'll die. Don't talk about such things in front of Yuji. They say babies remember more than we think. I know you wanted a child and that didn't happen with Kaori, but her death was... Father-in-law? What are you talking about? And it has this woman speaking, but she has the same scar lines that Geto has. And then Yuji wakes up. And then it shows Okotsu sitting across from him across a fire for some kind. And then Yuta has this weird look about him. And then Yuji's going, And then Yuta starts laughing. What a relief. And then Yuji's looking confused. And then Okotsu says, I think it was around September. Gojo-sensei came to see me. He asked me to watch over you, so I had to put on an act. Act? And then it cuts back to Gojo, way before. I've got a bad feeling. If anything happens to me, I need you to take care of the current first and second year students, Yuta. Akari should be fine. If anything happens, like you getting a girlfriend? You're a comedian now, huh? Well, I can't imagine what would happen to you. I'm especially concerned about the first year Yuji Itadori. Just like you, he was up for secret execution. If you could watch over him, I'd appreciate it. Where's Miguel? He doesn't want to see you. Instead of allowing a different executioner or having all information about you hidden, I decided this workaround was best. But they aren't dumb, so in order to get Jujutsu's headquarters to approve me as your executioner, I had to enter a binding vow to kill you. So I killed you. Sorry about that. And then Yuji just says, then why am I still alive? Because of reverse curse technique. At the moment your heart stopped, I used reverse curse technique to heal you. Not many people know I can take positive energy as is. Sorry, breakfast. Not many people know I can take positive energy as is and output it. I thought it might work based on what I've heard about you. Yeah, this is the second time your death has been staged. Given the circumstances, they'll figure out what happened soon enough. But for now, your death sentence has been officially carried out. Why are you doing all of this? Because you're important to people who are important to me. I too once bore a power I couldn't handle. I thought it had been forced on me, but I had invited it upon myself. But not you. The power you bear isn't your own. You aren't to blame. You don't understand. It isn't about whether it's my fault. But and then someone says, Itadori. Ooh, it's Megumi Fushiguro! Itadori. Fushiguro! What are you doing? Let's head back to Jujutsu High. The barrier around the school is loosening. As long as no one gets a look at your face, it should be no problem for you to go back. Don't act like everything is normal. Don't act like nothing happened. He resists, but I bet he's unsure of whether or not he deserves to live. This is Yuta thinking this. That's why he held back when fighting me. I killed people! Because of me, lots of people died! It's our fault. Don't be selfish. Of course you'd say that. And give up all alone. Don't be selfish and give up all alone. And then Megumi just blows a breath out. We aren't heroes fighting for justice. We're jujutsu sorcerers. No one can ever truly judge us, so we must continually prove the worth of our existence. And we don't have the luxury of thinking about ourselves. We just got to save people. I believe that was the original principle behind your actions. No, Fushiguro. It's because, as long as I'm around, you'll suffer. So start by saving me, Itadori. Noritoshi Kamo has made plans for those involved with Jujutsu to face off in a culling game. And Sumiki is ensnared in it. And Sumiki is ensnared in that. So I'm begging you, Itadori. I need your strength. And then we get the description of the culling game. Rules. Number 1. After awakening a curse technique, players must declare their participation in the culling game at a colony of their choice within 19 days. 2. Any player who breaks the previous rule shall be subject to curse technique removal. 3. Non-players who enter a colony become players at the moment of entry and shall be considered to have declared participation in the culling game. 4. Players score points by ending the lives of other players. Wow, this is literally a Jujutsu Hunger Games. May the curse technique be ever in your favor? 5. Points are determined by the game master and indicate the value of a player's life. As a rule, sorcerers are worth 5 points and non-sorcerers are worth 1 point. 6. Players may expend 100 points to negotiate with the game master to add 1 new rule to the culling game. However, players cannot add their own life's value to the amount that can be spent. 7. In accordance with the previous rule, the game master must accept any proposed new rule unless it will have a marked and long-lasting effect on the culling game. 8. If a player's score remains the same for 19 days, that player shall be subject to curse technique removal. So if you participate, you need to actually play and kill someone if your points don't change. If your points don't change for 19 days, you're subject to have curse technique removal impacted on you. And that's the end of chapter 143. Onwards to chapter 144, that place. Noritoshi Kamo has made plans for those involved with Jujutsu to face off in a culling game. And Sumiki is ensnared in that. So I'm begging you, Itadori. I need your strength. Okotsu-senpai? Sukuna is plotting something involving Fushiguro. He was probably able to take over my body in Shibuya because I ate... he was probably able to take over my body in Shibuya because I ate 10 fingers all at once. I have ingested 15 fingers so far, even if I ate all remaining 5 in one go. I doubt he'd be able to take control, but... if I ever switch with Sukuna again, don't hesitate to kill me. I think you could do that. Understood. I'll do what I can. Fushiguro, what should I do? And then Megumi says, first we'll go back to Jujutsu High and contact Master Tengen. We need to figure out how to remove the seal on the prison realm, what Noritoshi Kamo wants, and what he has planned. The culling game is jujutsu terrorism like nothing we've ever seen before. To fix this mess, we need answers, and I think only Master Tengen has them. What about Tsukumo? I already spoke to her. This was her idea. She's hiding in Jujutsu High too. Hiding? She wants to avoid the higher-ups. And then Yuta says, the problem is Master Tengen's concealing barrier. There are over 1,000 doors constantly shuffling around, but only one leads to the Tomb of the Star Corridor, where Master Tengen resides. And we can't contact Master Tengen if we don't pick the right one, says Yuji. And then Yuji thinks, and then he says, Fushiguro, I have to ask. What happened to Kujisaki? And then Megumi doesn't give him an answer. And then he grips his fists and goes, oh, I get it. I get it. And then Choso just comes up out of nowhere and says, about that barrier. There may be a way past it. Oh, Oh, you were listening, says Yuta. What do you mean, Choso, says Yuji. Maito once stole Sukuna's fingers and a death painting wounds, right? We can do the same thing. And then it cuts to daylight, and it cuts to someone walking into the basement where Yuji was being trained by Gojo, in order for him to use curse technique properly before while watching like movies and stuff. He's down. They're there, and we got Tsukumo there, Yuki Tsukumo, and that's Maki. That's Maki. Long time no see, but not really. Maki senpai? Wow, she's got like burn marks on the side of her face. Her hair is shorter, and she has like a patch over her eye. Man, Maki senpai? And then Itadori goes, oh, hi. And then Yuta goes, Maki, is it okay for you to move around? Yeah, no problem. And then Tsukumo goes, it can't be helped with burn scars. Even reverse curse technique leaves a mark. But I'd expect nothing less from someone physically gifted through heavenly restriction. It was her inborn physical toughness, not curse tolerance, that saved her life. It's too bad about the business with the head of the family. And then Maki goes, well, I wasn't going for it. Megumi? What about Master Tengen's barrier? About that. And then Choso comes up behind and says, I'll explain. Between the doors in the tomb lies the cursed warehouse where Jujutsu High stores cursed objects, tools, and objects. It holds the remains of my younger brothers, Noranso, Choso, Tanzo, Sanzo, Kotsuo, Kotso? Or is it Kotsuso? Kotsuso and Shoso. Even if it's just their remains with the six together, a side effect of my curse technique should provide some guidance. And then Yuki goes, good. And then Maki says, that's fine, but who's this guy? All right, Maki's never met Choso. For now, think of him as my big brother. And then that kind of strikes a chord with Choso because he honestly believes that Yuji is one of his brothers. Yuji! And then Yuji just goes, let's go. And then they reach a door. There. Without a doubt, my brothers sleep beyond those doors. Let's open them. And they open it, and it's just a massive forest. They open a door into like a ginormous pit full of trees. But leaveless trees. Let's go. Farther in, there's an elevator to the tomb. And then it cuts to everyone going ahead except for Yuji and Choso. And then Yuji says, Choso, I know. I'll return. Wait just a little longer. Then they go inside of the elevator to the Star Corridor. And they look down. And there's blood. And there's blood stains on the ground. Bloodstains? What happened here? It was 12 years ago. Now that I think about it, that's when everything began to get distorted. This was when we were trying to, we were dealing with the backstory of Gojo and Geto way back when. And when Toji Zenin came in and basically killed, I forgot her name. It was Ritsu, I forgot her name. But the girl that was supposed to be the next vessel for Master Tengen, it's way back then. All right, everyone. The main shrine is through here. And then they go in, and then the whole room is just blank white and empty. Darn it. And then Yuji says, there's nothing here. And Megumi says, this is the main shrine. This is the main shrine. And then Yuki says, no, Tengen's rejecting us. Tengen doesn't interfere with this world, but I thought contact would be possible now that the 6 eyes are sealed. Maybe it isn't rejecting all of us, just me. I was too optimistic. And then Fushiguro doesn't say anything. And then Yuta goes, let's head back. Sumiki doesn't have time. And then a voice goes, leaving so soon. It is a pleasure to meet you, child of the Zenin. Michizane's descendant, death-painting womb, and Sukuna's vessel. Is this Master Tengen? Riko Amanai. Thank you, Ogata-san. Her name was Riko, but I was kind of iffy on it. Thank you. Is this supposed to be like a manifestation of Master Tengen? Child of the Zenin, Michizane's descendant, death-painting womb, and Sukuna's vessel. And that's the end of chapter 144. Onwards to chapter 145, the back. Don't I get a hello, Tengen? This person is Tengen. This isn't the first time we've met Yuki Tsukumo. Why did you close off the tombs of the Star Corridor? I was afraid you might be in alignment with Kenjaku. After all, I cannot see into the human heart. Kenjaku? The sorcerer who was once Noritoshi Kamo, and is now inhabiting the body of Suguru Geto. That name suggests compassion and salvation. Give me a break. Master Tengen, why do you look like that? He sure has guts cutting in on an important conversation. Goes Fushiguro. I may be immortal, but I'm not immune to aging. After 500 years, you'd look like this too. For real? 12 years ago, after failing to merge with a star plasma vessel, my aging accelerated and my self-awareness as an individual diminished. The very world became myself. So there wasn't another star platinum vessel then? And that's why your voice doesn't proliferate? And then Fushiguro chimes in going, excuse me, but we came to ask about Kenjaku's objectives and how to open the prison realm. And then, excuse me, but... And Yuta says, we came to ask about Kenjaku's objectives and how to open the prison realm. Will you tell us what you know? I wish I could simply say yes, but there is one condition. Yuta Okotsu, Yuki Tsukumo, and the death-painting womb. Two of you must remain here to serve as my guards. Ooh. Guards? Aren't you immortal? And then Maki chimes in saying, aren't you worried about the seal? And then Tsukumo says, no fair, you haven't even told us why or for how long we'd have to do it. So then, shall I speak of Kenjaku? His objective is to force the evolution of all human beings throughout the land of Japan. We heard that, goes Fushiguro, but what exactly does he intend? Why didn't Kenjaku use your barrier that time and turn everyone in Japan into sorcerers via idol transfiguration? He lacks the cursed energy to do that. Cursed energy that has been refined through Uzumaki cannot return to the sorcerer. Triggering an evolution in each individual with a cursed technique is incredibly inefficient. The method of evolution that Kenjaku has chosen is the merging of humankind and me. What? He wants to merge Tengen with all of humanity. And Yuji says, is that even possible? What was it again? Isn't that impossible for anyone but a star plasma vessel? Yes, but the way I was before. But now that I've been undergoing my own evolution for the past 12 years, it would not be impossible for me to merge with someone other than a star plasma vessel. And then Choso chimes in saying, but you're one person. How could you merge with multiple people? I am not what you see before you at this moment. My evolved soul exists all around us. As I said, myself is now the world itself. A human who merges with me transforms into something greater than a sorcerer, as a new being that is both there and not there. So basically, they become Schrodinger's cat. Hellsing Ultimate taught me that. I possess barrier techniques, so I am able to maintain this form and self-control even after evolving. However, if humankind evolves, and even if only one person rages out of control, the world will end. Why? There would be no barriers between individuals, so evil would spread instantaneously. The impurities of 100 million people would flood the world. What just happened to Tokyo would happen to the entire world. And then Yuji says, why would Kenjaku do that? I do not know. As I've said, I cannot read the human heart. And then Maki says, so why don't you just refuse the merge? That is the problem. Now that I have evolved, I am more like a cursed spirit than human being. That makes me a target for cursed spirit manipulation. And seeing as how the body of Geto is able to manipulate cursed spirits with his cursed spirit manipulation, if he gets to Tengen, he literally gains control of the world. And this shocks everyone because they know what that means. Considering Kenjaku's ability as a sorcerer, he might be able to seize me the moment we encounter each other. That is why my main body is rejecting everything as the Tomb of the Stars corridor. And then Yuta says, and the reason you want guards, right? Yes. After me, Kenjaku is the most powerful user of barriers in the world. I do not know when he will undo the seals on the tomb. And then Yuki goes, why now? Kenjaku prevented emerging with a star plasma vessel and forced your evolution. Oh wait, hold on. Something in my... She says, but why now? Kenjaku prevented emerging with a star plasma vessel and forced your evolution and wants to consume and control you through curse manipulation. Apparently he was involved with Sukuna, so he's been a sorcerer for at least 1,000 years. So why now? The star plasma vessel, the Six Eyes, and I are all connected by fate. In the past, Kenjaku has twice lost to sorcerers of the Six Eyes, people like Gojo. After the second time, he took no chances. He killed the star plasma vessel and Six Eyes less than 1 month after they were born. Nonetheless, on the day of merging, the Six Eyes and star plasma vessel appeared. After that, Kenjaku switched to sealing instead of eradicating the Six Eyes, and began searching for the prison realm, because two bearers of the Six Eyes cannot exist at the same time. But then the unexpected happened 12 years ago, when Toji Zenin interfered. He was physically gifted through heavenly restriction, and on top of that, he was an anomaly who had escaped from cursed energy. As a human being who had escaped fate through the power of restriction, he broke us free from our destinies. Then came along a boy with cursed manipulation. Suddenly all the pieces had come together, except for the prison realm. Then even that fell into his hands 6 years ago. And then Fushiguro says, so why is the culling game happening? It is like breaking the body prior to merging. It is not impossible to merge with someone other than a star plasma vessel, but it is highly unlikely. The merging would be incomplete at least for now. The Culling game uses the player's cursed energy in the boundaries binding barriers in a ritual for conveying the human beings of this country to the other side. Through that custom, he will begin the merging. However, in order to perform such a ritual, Kenjaku has undertaken certain binding vows. One stipulates that he not be the game master. However, that does not work in your favor, because it means the Culling game will not end even if you kill him. Basically, like a reanimation jutsu. If you kill the jutsu caster, the reanimation still goes on. The game will continue until all the players are dead, either from being killed by other players or from having refused participation. The clause mentioning long-lasting additions to the rules ensures that nothing can interrupt the ritual. Which means, 6. Players may expend 100 points to negotiate with the Game Master to add one new rule to the Culling game. However, players cannot add their own life's value to the amount that can be spent. And Yuta says, we have no choice but to participate in the Culling game and add a rule whereby Sumiki and the others unwilling participants can get out. And Fushiguro says, we should also free Gojo-sensei. That guy could settle everything all on his own. And then Yuji goes, Master Tengen, first, decide who stays. And then Choso and Yuki, they both say, I will stay. They both elect to stay behind. It feels like there's something just hanging on my eyelash, and it was another eyelash. Choso and Yuki elect to stay behind. And Choso says, I'm sorry if it seems like there's a lot of pauses in here. I got to sit up straight. Good posture. And actually slide forward, my apologies. And Choso says, Yuji, you absolutely need the cooperation of Okotsu or this woman. Especially if Noritoshi Kamo, if Kenjaku comes here for Tengen. Ending his life means salvation for my little brothers. And then Yuki says, and I'm not done talking to Tengen. Is that alright, Okotsu? Yeah, I don't want to leave the others. And then it cuts to Tengen putting his hand in like a shadow in this space going, thank you. This is necessary for freeing Satoru Gojo. It is the back of the prison realm. And he brings out another cube and calls it the back door into the prison realm. Back? I've never heard of that. You mean like a back gate? Says Yuji. Yes, that is right. Before Kenjaku founded, the prison realm was outside my barrier. I believe it was overseas. By sealing this rear gate, I was hiding the existence of the front, but it was no use. Satoru Gojo is also sealed inside this rear gate. Then if we open it, we can... No. The authority to open the gate rests with Kenjaku as the bearer of the front. Breaking it open requires either the inverted spear of heaven, which nullifies curse techniques, or the black rope, which disrupts and cancels curse techniques' effects. But Satoru Gojo sealed the inverted spear of heaven overseas 12 years ago or destroyed it! Oh wait, but Satoru Gojo sealed the inverted spear of heaven overseas 12 years ago or destroyed it. Why would you do that, Sensei? And last year, Satoru Gojo got rid of all the black rope. Why'd that guy do that? Goes Megumi. And then Yuta says, actually, I went looking for the remaining black rope with Miguel in Africa. Oh, that's why you went overseas, huh? Yeah, but it was a fruitless effort. And then Yuki goes, but there is a way, right? Yes. Among the players participating in the Culling game is a sorcerer from 1,000 years ago who calls herself an angel. Her curse technique can extinguish any curse technique. Culling game player Hana Kurusu. A curse technique that can extinguish curse techniques. That's kind of broken. And she's in the game. But that's the end of chapter 145. Onwards to chapter 146. I don't know why it seems like my speech is so disjointed right now. Chapter 146, about the Culling game. She can extinguish curse techniques? Yes. The angel's curse technique can open the back of the prison realm. And then Fushiguro says, do you know where she is now? The colony in the east side of Tokyo. The game barriers reject me, so I don't have any more information. I will begin my examination there. There are 10 colonies around Japan. They are connected by barriers that form a line that sends humans in Japan to the other side. You guess Blackbeard has a sister? I mean, her powers basically functions like one of the abilities of the Yami Yami no Mi. Like Blackbeard has a devil fruit that can cancel other devil fruits, she has a curse technique that can cancel other curse techniques. And the way she is shown here in the previous chapter is she's floating in the air with like a halo and angel wings. There are 10 colonies around Japan. They are connected by barriers that form a line that sends humans in Japan to the other side. Oh, like Yasuhachi Bridge. So this would end up like this. So it's showing what would happen whenever people try to go in from one side, and then it just shows the map in like one specific direction. So there are barriers that make it so that people can go from one side of the barrier to the other, even if they go to one different direction, kind of, sort of alike. Kind of a little bit. So this would end up like this, and then Yuki goes, is Hokkaido not included because of the Jujutsu Sorcerer's Barrier? Correct. It has already been established as a vast secret area. Well, that's the rugged lands for you. Conveyance to the other side may sound exaggerated, but a curse fell on everyone in Japan as preparation for a merger. And then Fushiguro says, how long will it take to complete the ritual? That depends on the game, but 2 months should suffice. 1. After awakening a curse technique, players must declare their participation in the Culling game at a colony of their choice within 19 days. And Maki says, right now it's 9 a.m. on November 9th. And Yuta says, the player sorcerers awaken at about midnight on October 31st. So Sumiki has roughly 10 days and 15 hours to declare participation. 2. Any player who breaks the previous rule shall be subject to curse technique removal. Master Tengen, you said that refusing to participate results in death. That is correct. And then it cuts to someone going, curse technique removal? Oh, it's Ieri. Curse technique removal. That rule also applies to sorcerers who join in, right? I think that suggests removal isn't achieved through idle transfiguration. It's not proscription, but removal, so there's no binding vow, which means something happens to your brain. And I think that means you die, otherwise everyone will refuse to participate. Shoko was right, but that means sorcerers like me who don't have a curse technique aren't at risk. And this is Maki saying this. What about Panda? Does he even have a brain? 3. Non-players who enter a colony become players at the moment of entry and shall be considered to have declared participation in the Culling game. And Yuji says, so what about the civilians who are already inside of a barrier? They will be given at least one chance to exit. For real? How generous. There is no rule about entering or exiting colonies. For the first, players receive the clear objective of exiting the barrier. I suppose that is for stimulating the game. In order to confine the players, the premise that they enter of their own free will is important. And then Yuji says, so that's the increase or decrease of barrier effectiveness that Ino mentioned. 4. Players score points by ending the lives of other players. 5. Points are determined by the game master and indicate the value of a player's life. As a general rule, sorcerers are worth 5 points and non-sorcerers are worth 1 point. And Yuji says, as a rule seems a bit vague, no? Fushiguro? It's nothing. What about this game master? Each player will receive a shikigami called a kogane. But a kogane is less game master than interface. You may think of the game master as the Culling game's program. And Yuji is confused by all of this, and he just goes, what? 6. Players may expend 100 points to negotiate with the game master to add one new rule to the Culling game. However, players cannot add their own life's value to the amount that can be spent. Add? We can't subtract rules that already exist. Add? We can't subtract rules that already exist? Goes Yuji. And then Fushiguro goes, but maybe there are roundabout ways to counteract rules. 7. In accordance with the previous rule, the game master must accept any proposed new rule unless it would have a marked and long-lasting effect on the Culling game. And Choso goes, is that fair? And Maki goes, yeah, that gives the game master a lot of leeway. And Tengen goes, actually, you may expect an equitable decision. The players are subject to strict rules. Sorcery-wise, Kenjaku is due no further bias. And 8. If a player's score remains the same for 19 days, that player that player shall be subject to curse technique removal. And then Yuji goes, I have to kill people again. And Fushiguro goes, no, I have a few ideas. And then Maki goes, well, that's the info we've got. Now we each have a role to play. Yuki and Choso will remain here to guard Master Tengen. I will return to the Zenin clan and collect cursed tools. Soon after Satoru was sealed, the Kamo and Zenin clans cleaned out Jujutsu High's cursed warehouse. But Megumi is now the Zenin clan's leader. What? I'll explain later. Thanks to that, we'll be able to search the Zenin warehouse at length. But first, Master Tengen? Understood. Juzo's Kumio's workshop, right? It would be appreciated. Afterward, I will find Panda and help address the game. And you, Yuta? I'm going to enter a colony right away to take part in the game. Before Sumiki, Fushiguro, and the others participate, I want to gather some information. I'll avoid nearby colonies so we don't end up killing each other, and just in case something happens to Sumiki. Barriers may block phone reception, so we could be out of touch for a while. And then both Yuji and Yuta come to one conclusion. When Yuji says, if I ever switch with Sukuna again, don't hesitate to kill me. And then he's thinking, and it cuts to narration going, they're thinking about how it would be safer for Fushiguro if Okotsu were near Itadori, but it would be more efficient strategically for Okotsu to operate alone. Don't even think about it, it'll be fine. If that happens and I die, just have him kill you. The point is to not let that happen, right? Senpai? Yeah, you guys go to Kinji as planned. Kinji? Kinji Haraki, a suspended 3rd year. We're short-handed, so we gotta rope in whoever we can. Is he tough? Well, he's moody. Well, he's moody, goes Okotsu. But when he gets worked up, he's stronger than I am. That's not true, goes Maki. And then they all start to leave, leaving Choso and Yuki behind. Choso, says Yuji, I'm guessing. Thanks, I appreciate it. And then Choso smiles and goes, don't die, okay? And then he just waves them off, and they all leave. And then Yuki goes, are you crying? And Tengen doesn't do anything, but Choso is in fact crying. And then it cuts to people on a bus. Or someone sitting inside of a seminar somewhere. Yeah, it cuts to someone just sitting up inside of a seminar. And it cuts to someone doing bad jokes. Thank you very much. With the sign that goes, is that a banana in your pocket? And then he gets like pity claps with barely anyone in the room. And someone yells out, Takaba! How long are you going to do those dumb jokes? Just stop, it's getting depressing for me too. Yeah, I know. How old are you again? I'm 35. So quit already. This industry does have late bloomers who take a long time to hit it big, but it's not like they suddenly get funny after a while. They were always funny, just hadn't been discovered yet. But that's not you, and with the way Tokyo is right now, take it from me, find something you're cut out for. And then the guy, I guess his manager, just up and leaves. And then just one guy in the newspaper says, I don't like your jokes, Takaba. Ken? Neither of you seem to understand that even guys who aren't funny can make it. Wait, he says, I don't dislike your jokes, Takaba. Ken? Neither of you seem to understand that even guys who aren't funny can make it. Like a one-hit wonder type of thing? No, there are 2 types of comics who will always be in demand. Comics who are funny, and comics who think they're funny. Which are you? And then it cuts to this person going, I'd say it's 50-50, but maybe it's more like 70-30? Culling game player Fumihiko Takaba. And that's the end of chapter 146. Onwards to chapter 147, Even Pandas. And it cuts to Yaga imprisoned with his arms bound. And he's thinking about Panda and someone's talking to him. And it's, Principal Gakuganji. Yaga, what exactly is that thing? Is it possible for an artificial curse corpse to operate independently to a greater degree than other manipulation techniques? But it consumes the curse energy that a sorcerer gives it as a power source. That thing's cursed energy belongs to itself, so it's self-supporting. The higher-ups are currently trying to designate you a special grade and officially impose an indefinite restraint upon you. Because if you can intentionally make those, you can make an army. So answer me, Yaga. Do you truly not know how that thing was made? Wow, so we're about to find out how Panda came to be. Like the inner workings of it. And then Yaga simply says, on the other side of his prison cell, he just simply says, "No, I don't." And then it cuts to someone sitting next to him like some sort of creature going, "Masamichi? Is everyone worried about how gloomy you've been?" "Yeah." So I told him. Is everyone worried about how gloomy you've been? "Yeah." So I told him we should cheer you up. "Yeah." "Aren't I a genius?" "Yeah, you are. I'm sorry, Takeru, but I have to go away for a while. Tell everyone for me." "Another outing?" "Yeah, and a long one. Don't worry, Master Tengen protects this force, and your mother will come see you again. Even without me, you'll be fine." Is this another doll that he's created? And then he goes to a tree, and there's like a door in it. And it cuts to these other creatures going, "Masamichi, we'll miss you." And then it cuts to some rope being snapped off. And it's Kusakabe. And it's Panda. "Are you sure about this, Kusakabe?" "Don't tell anyone I helped you. You were caught and used as bait in order to draw out Yaga. I owe him. Go on." And so Kusakabe was the one who set Panda free because they were trying to get to Yaga. "It's really all right, huh? This guy isn't your nephew. It's something with your nephew's information. If you stay hung up on the dead forever, you can't move on to the future, right? My younger sister can't go on living without the past without Takeru's support." "Masamichi?" "Well, Masamichi, is that woman my mother?" "Masamichi? Is that woman my mother?" Hey, you catch on quick." "I knew it! Aren't I a genius?" And then the lady who Kusakabe brought in front of them, who's in a wheelchair, she sees this cursed doll responding like a little boy, and she gets up immediately. And she gets up out of her chair. And she goes, Takeru! And then Yaga goes, "I hate to do this, Kusakabe. I understand it mustn't get out that a fully independent curse corpse exists. Living with my sister is impossible." "I'm sorry. What are you apologizing for? I'm grateful. I truly am. Thank you." And then it shows Yaga just walking out in the open and someone standing on top of a streetlight in the middle of the night. "Where are you going without any cursed corpses, Principal Yaga?" "To see my son." "You got the death sentence, so allow me to tell you the only way to save yourself. Tell me how to make artificial cursed corpses that are fully independent. Right here, right now. You get pushy the moment Satoru's gone, huh? Yes, of course. After all, I'm with a veteran sorcerer." And it's Principal Gaku Ganji. Principal Gaku Ganji is coming up to support this guy. Is he coming up to support this guy? He's coming to support this guy so they can learn how to make independent cursed corpses. Yaga's the only one who knows how to do it. But they come to attack him so they can extract that information from him? Yes, of course. After all, I'm with a veteran sorcerer. Principal Gaku Ganji. And then time passes and it cuts to Yaga with a massive cut across his entire chest laid up against the wall. But in the process, he managed to severely beat up Principal Gakuganji as well, because Gakuganji, his guitar is broken, and he's got scars over and bloody scars over his head as well. Principal, you may go. Leave the rest to me. As you wish. And then the guy that's traveling with him just disappears. You can replicate soul information from physical info. And then he goes, he actually explains the process to Principal Gakuganji. You can replicate soul information from physical information, then input that information into the cursed corpse's cores. But that isn't enough. You must put cores housing 3 highly compatible souls into one cursed corpse, and have the souls observe one another constantly. Only that will stabilize the souls and give rise to self-awareness. Then in 3 months' time, the corpse will achieve self-sustaining cursed energy. Why? Tell me now. Why not before? Why didn't you try to live? It's a curse, Principal Gakuganji. A curse from me to you. And then it shows Panda running up right next to Gakuganji, seeing Masamichi, and then it shows Gakuganji throwing what was left of his guitar at Panda, and Panda's right behind Gakuganji in an instant. But then he throws it at Panda, but Panda is right next and goes past Gakuganji and makes his way to Yaga. Why do you not fight? Do you not hate me? I'm not like you humans. Pandas aren't bound by the same behaviors as humans. Besides, you and Masamichi weren't on bad terms, and I bet you were just acting on orders from above. To me, you're like a fallen knife. But remember one thing. Even pandas cry. And then Panda just starts crying. And then it cuts to moths flying around this same light post where it shows one moth has fallen to the ground. And I guess died. And that's the end of chapter 147. Onwards to chapter 148. Perfect preparation. And then it cuts to House Zenin. Well, look who showed up. Yikes, what a face. That ain't gonna heal. What are you gonna do? Maki. And it's Naoya who's back at House Zenin, and Maki has made her way back as well. You judge women by their faces? I thought you only looked at their behinds. I asked you a question, so answer me, scum. You can't use cursed techniques, and you can't see cursed spirits. All you had going was your face. And now it's wrecked. No one will even look in your direction anymore. Don't you think that's sad? Shall I bully you like I used to? And Maki doesn't say anything. And then Naoya says, so now what? Are you gonna follow Okotsu and Megumi like some lapdog? Say something, scum. And then it cuts back to an underground entrance that Maki has been able to, that I guess Maki used in order to get into House Zenin. And then it cuts to a lady going, Maki, come back here. Have you forgotten? We may not enter the cursed warehouse. The clan head says it's all right. Head of the Zenin clan? Me? Head of the Zenin clan? Me? Yeah, it was in Naobito's will. No, thank you. It's too much of a hassle. Sorry, but I need you to do it. Naobito said he'd leave the entire Zenin fortune to you, Megumi. That means money and curse tools, and you'll receive information about the big 3 families in Jujutsu headquarters. The way we operate from now on is going to drastically change. Then you do it, Maki. I'll step down. No one would accept me or follow me the way I am now. You inherited the family curse technique and learned a domain, and Satoru favored you, so it all stacks up to you being good enough. Barely. But stuff like acceptance, what the people of the Zenin clan think doesn't matter, does it? You'll get all those benefits you mentioned just by becoming clan head. He really doesn't want to do it, and it puts it here down at the bottom of this page. I'm still not good enough. I can't create a place where Mai would feel like she belongs. Understood. And then the woman And then the woman says, I said come back here! Why? Why are you always like this? For once, make me glad that I gave birth to you, Maki. Wow, so this lady that was traveling around with Naoya is Maki's mother! Also, what a horrible thing to say to your own child. Make me glad that I gave birth to you? That's a horrible thing to say. Why would you say that? That's horrible! But Maki continues to the warehouse and uses the key to open up the warehouse doors. And then she opens it, and then there's just a sole person. There's just a sole person on the ground. Father? There are no cursed tools here, Maki. I anticipated what you all would do and emptied it. And then he stands up and shows that Mai is on the ground. Yo, Psycho, what's going on? We are currently going through chapters 148 of volume 17. He stands up and Mai is on the ground behind him. Why did you come, you idiot? Mai! And then it cuts to Naoya going, you should have told me this. You're too reckless. This is Jinichi. Naoya is talking to Jinichi. You should have told me about this. You're too reckless, Naoya. That's why Megumi Fushiguro is the better choice. Huh? A good number of are backing him for this chance to repair relations with the Gojo clan, but we too cannot accept leaving the entire fortune to Megumi. And why are you dragging your feet? Because Megumi is building a good relationship with Noritoshi Kamo, the next leader of the Kamo clan, and not just the Gojo clan. Getting rid of him without a reason will only hurt the Zenin clans. Now you know why people like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Ah, you're watching it. Nice! Keep watching. Getting rid of him without a reason will only hurt the Zenin clan's standing. Then we would fall behind in the shifting power struggle that's come about ever since Satoru Gojo got sealed. 2. Satoru Gojo has been deemed an accomplice in the Shibuya incident and is thus permanently exiled from the Jujutsu world. Furthermore, removing his seal will be considered a criminal act. We have to take advantage of this. We must execute Megumi Fushiguro, Maki, and Mai as rebels plotting to free Satoru Gojo. Killing one's own daughter would boost credibility. Yes, even better would also strengthen the trust Jujutsu headquarters has in him. But is that alright with Uncle Ogi? It was his idea. And Uncle Ogi, the same dude, the father of Maki, he uses secret art, Falling Blossom Emotion. The domain countermeasure Falling Blossom changes when used in a sword standoff. It covers itself in cursed energy to attack anything it comes into contact with. Mai was spared as a bargaining chip in case of an emergency, and to combat any unknown cursed tools in Maki's possession. Aware of the contingencies at play, Ogi planned to unleash a single mighty blow. Meanwhile, Maki wields Juzo Kumiya's masterpiece, the cursed tool known as Dragon Bone. It accumulates force and cursed energy and ejects them out the back of the blade in accordance with the user's will. I'll take advantage of the fact that he's unfamiliar with the cursed tool's ability, and feign entering a single strike duel while intending to strike a second or third time. Do you know why the former head of the clan was my older brother Naobito and not me? Is it because you're a bastard who's willing to kill his children? And then it shows him drawing his sword. Yeah, it shows him drawing his sword, and Maki tries to defend, and she just barely manages to block it. And then when she grips Dragon Bone, she manages to slice off Ogi Zenin's Ogi's sword completely in half, and then appears right behind him. And then as Ogi's preparing, it shows like the inside of his body. Well, it shows the inside of someone else's body as Ogi Zenin moves at a speed that allows him to slash Maki in multiple places. He slices her across the face in a way that causes her glasses to come flying off, and he slashes her on the side as well, instantly.
Why? I thought it broke. But his blade.
Why couldn't I become clan head? Because my children are all worthless.
And he is able, apparently there's cursed energy coming out of the tip of his sword that got snapped off. And that is the end of chapter 148. Onwards to chapter 149. Perfect Preparation Part 2.
Believing you had broken my blade, you stepped in close. That's why you're no good. I am not a swordsman. I am a sorcerer. You cannot judge me by the standards of one who is worthless. That would be absurd.
And it shows him dragging both Mai and Maki, blood coming off of the both of them, as he's dragging them into like another room.
As I said, I did not become the previous family head because of you two. My older brother's curse technique doesn't have much of a history, so his technique was not an important factor in the dispute. As a sorcerer, I have only ever been inferior to him in one aspect, and that is the quality of my children. Children must not hold back their parents.
And then Mai says,
Didn't you know? Holding each other back is a virtue in this country.
And then as that happens, both Mai and Maki get thrown down some stairs.
This room is for training and discipline. We kept countless cursed spirits of grade 2 and lower here. For now, they are keeping back for fear of me, but soon they will emerge to eat you both.
And it shows that it's a room where cursed spirits are inside of the walls, but they don't come out because Ogi Zenin is there. They all fear him, but as soon as he leaves, they're going to come out there and try and eat Maki and Mai.
For now, they're keeping back for fear of me, but soon they will emerge to eat you both. Heavenly restriction, physically gifted. What are those things? In order to fight, we sorcerers train every day and further reinforce our flesh with cursed energy. Your strength is nothing special to Maki. Your strength is nothing special compared to others.
My apologies if I am butchering words. Once again, my apologies.
Farewell. You are a stain on my life.
And then it just has the cursed spirits muttering to each other. And then it cuts to Mai. Who's holding on to Maki as she goes,
As usual, you're tough. I suspected this would happen someday.
And then it has her kneeling close to the head of Maki as she goes,
This sucks.
And then Maki wakes up, and she's on a beach for some reason. And then it cuts to Mai, who says,
You probably already understand my curse technique. I can't make anything big or complicated. I'm badly injured from its cuts. Once I make this, I'll die. Goodbye. Good luck on your own.
Hey, Mai, wait!
What are you talking about? Just come back here. I've known for a long time why twins are inauspicious for sorcerers. To gain something, you must offer something. And I'm not just talking about a binding vow. In the same way, suffering makes us stronger. For us twins, that rule doesn't always apply. After all, cursed techniques treat identical twins as one individual. Get it? You are me, Maki. You are me, and I am you. Even if you work insanely hard because you want to get strong, there's no point. Because I don't want to get stronger. And if you don't have a cursed technique, but I do, then there's no point. As long as I'm around, you, Maki, will never fully develop. Okay, I get it. Now come back. I'll leave only this. Throw the rest away. And then it has Maki trying to grip and hold on to Mai, but her hand goes through it. Her hand goes through Maki's hand, and Maki is walking. They're on a beachfront, but it has Mai walking out to sea. I'll leave only this. Throw the rest away. I'll take the cursed energy and everything with me, but promise me one thing. Destroy everything. And then the visage of Mai and Maki switches to them when they were kids. Everything, big sister. And then it cuts to the present, as Mai is laying next to Maki. And Maki has a sword, and Mai has a sword in her hands. And then Maki says, Mai? Wake up. Mai? And Mai's laying next to her, but she's not moving. Wake up! And then all the spirits start to come out of the walls, and then Ogi Zenin gets a twitch and he looks back real fast. And then he looks back and notices that he senses that all of the cursed spirits have been destroyed.
The cursed spirits are gone. How?
And then it shows Maki, who has carried Mai to the doors where Ogi was about to leave them. My body remembers, but I tried so...
My body remembers.
This is Ogi thinking this.
My body remembers, but I tried so hard to forget this fear.
And it shows Maki standing up, and in the visage, in the visage of Maki, in that same stance of Mai, Ogi sees Toji Zenin. He sees Toji Zenin in Maki. Not Mai, but Maki. I meant to say Maki. He sees Toji Zenin in Maki, the way she's standing and the presence she's giving off. And this fills him with fear. And he immediately gets scared, his eyes open wide. And then he goes,
Technique release. Blazing courage. Very well. With my own hands, I will burn you to the bone. So let us fight, my worthless child.
And then it shows Maki. He says,
so let us fight, my worthless child.
And as he says this, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness! The moment he finishes the sentences, we see the upper half of Ogi's head falling off because Mai already sliced him before he even moved. Before this man even moved, Maki kills him. Just slice his head completely across the cranium. And Maki doesn't say anything. And then she just holds, and as it shows these geese flying in the air in one panel, I don't know the specific meanings of that, the significance of that. It shows her brandishing her sword as she goes, Mai, let's get started. And that's the end of chapter 149! Yo! Yo, Maki! Okay! Okay, Maki! Chapter 150, Perfect Preparation, Part 3. And then there's a massive clang sound. There's a massive clang sound as someone's ringing the alert bell. When Jinichi goes, the alarm bell. And Naoya goes, why all the noise? Master Jinichi! Runta. Maki has gone mad. She cut down Master Ogi. The Kukuri unit has gone to confront her.
Ogi.
And then the Kukuri come and say, if she attacked Master Ogi while he was asleep or unaware on the toilet, she might beat him. Even Maki is capable of that. She killed him, goes Naoya.
Seize her before I get there.
Yes, sir!
And they all just ninja dash away from the spot. If you drag your feet, as captain, I'm the one Junichi will chew out. But don't kill her. I'll finish her off. Nobuaki Zenin, Kukuri Unit Captain. The Kukuri Unit. Kukuru, not Kukuri. Kukuru. The Kukuru Unit. Zenin males who do not possess curse techniques are required to join. As a lower branch of the Hei, its members undergo grueling martial arts training day and night. Maki was a member until she entered Jujutsu High. There she is, in the Ton Room! Visual confirmation of 2 unidentified cursed tools. Surround her! And Maki's standing there. And she gets Yo! This is a Kill Bill moment! This is a Kill Bill moment! You know, the woohoo, woohoo, yo! This is a Kill Bill moment because they surround her in a room that looks very reminiscent of that whole big brawl inside of that house. Where Uma Thurman was fighting all those dudes in suits with her sword, and then it had that one Japanese chick that had like the little mace on a chain. Maki is in a room that looks just like this, and she's surrounded. Whoo, boy! And the thing is, she has 2 cursed tools with her. The sword that she had, with the crazy 88. Thank you, Ogata-san, because, you know, I haven't seen Kill Bill 1 and 2 all the way through. I only know of it of clips, but I recognize the setting due to, like, montages from other videos from years past. I never sat down and watched Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2 all the way through. I know, I will correct it later. But she's surrounded by the Kukuru unit, and she's just standing there. And then it cuts to her thinking about what Naoya was saying. What are you gonna do? What did I want to do? Why don't you just fall down why didn't you fall down? Next year will be the 20th anniversary for Kill Bill? Has it been 20 years since Kill Bill has been a film? Man, we're getting older. 20 years. I was 10 years old back then. What did I want to do? Why didn't you fall down the hole with me? Yeah, I bet that's the right answer for us. And then she's just, Maya's going, Maya's back, it shows a picture of Mai, and then Maki goes, it's thinking to herself, I'm sorry, Mai. And then Mai says, but promise me, destroy everything. And then the last panel we see is the wide open eye of Maki, as she begins to butcher everyone. This dude tries to hit her, and she slices him so fast that she cuts off his hands before he can even react. Then she slices off the top half of the head of another guy, and then slices off the head of the guy whose hands she's just cut off, and she just starts butchering everyone. Everyone! These are just panels of her just butchering the entire Kukuru unit. People are getting stabbed, they're getting dismembered. Maki is just wrecking shop. And then, what is his name? I forgot his name already. Nobuaki. Nobuaki comes in and says, hey, how'd it go? Oh my. And then, as she's standing there amongst all the corpses that she's just created, a door opens and there's someone who has some weirdly shaped person inside of another room. And then all of a sudden, the Zenin house explodes as like rock-like hands shoot up into the sky, throwing Maki into the air. Sorry, I got my phone here. Hold on. It was nothing important. Maki's in the air, and it tries to clap its hands on her, with Nobuaki thinking, Chojiro's curse technique. The Hiei are here? And then it shows Junichi, Chojiro, and another dude. The Hei, a group composed of people who have been recognized as possessing skills of semi-grade 1 or higher according to the criteria of Jujutsu High.
They are the strongest sorcerers in the Zenin clan. Then it shows an explosion happen from inside the clap's hands that Chojudo used, and it shows Maki running past as it shows Nobuaki and Chojudo trying to hit her. And he hit her, and she's still moving, and Nobuaki's thinking, Chojudo hit her with his technique. How is she still moving? And then Maki jabs both Chojudo and Nobuaki in their throats so hard that she jabs through their throats, not into their throats, not like how Neo jabbed into Mr. Agent Smith's throat with his fingers. No, she jabbed inside their throats, drawn out fingers covered in blood. She's fast. Is she really the same Maki? And then all of a sudden, Maki stops moving as eyes hit her. And that one guy, Ranta, not Junta, but Ranta says, Master Junichi! Hold her still, Ranta. And then it shows Maki struggling, like she's under some sort of curse technique paralysis, but she still starts moving again. I can't hold her back. And then the eyes that were going up against her, they split apart. And then Junichi goes, Don't mind me, Master Junichi. The current Zenin clan exists because of Master Choji's whim. You must have noticed. Maki has become the same as him. Right here, right now, kill her! And then it shows Junichi bringing his fists down on the entire area where Maki is. And these fists are so enlarged that they cover the entire Zenin complex right now. You did it. Master Junichi! And a person comes out of the smoke. And then, seeing how Ranta's eyes kind of burst, he can't see that Maki walks past him with the head of Junichi. Lord Jesus! Lord Jesus! What is... Yo! Maki just went berserk. She went full berserk. She went full berserk on everyone. The strongest members of the Zenin clan meant absolutely nothing to Maki. She butchered everyone. Out from the smokes. No, everyone else caught the smoke from Maki. Master Junichi. And then Maki just walks past him, not saying anything, because Ranta doesn't know that Junichi's dead. And then it has Maki tossing the head of Junichi into a nearby pond inside of the household. And then Naoya comes up saying, How cruel. Don't you have a human heart? Naoya Zenin, head of the Hei. Or is it Hei? Head of the Hei. It's not Hei, it's Hei. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. My apologies. Someone will probably correct me even after I correct it myself. Don't you have a human heart? Naoya Zenin, head of the Hei. No, she took it with her. And that is the end of chapter 150. Onwards to chapter 151. Perfect Preparation Part 4. I'm a genius. Everyone says I'll be the next head of the family after my father. Apparently there's a black sheep in the Zenin clan. I'm told even though he's a man, he doesn't have an ounce of cursed energy. How awful that must feel. How pitiful must that person look? And this must be a young Naoya who sees Toji Zenin for the first time. And that's in the past. And then it shows Naoya fighting against Maki, like with multiple rapid fire blows. 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, and he grabs Maki's arm. And then he proceeds to turn her into a picture frame and then punches her clear across the complex into like a nearby wall. And then he shoots over and then kicks her straight in the midsection. You. And then Maki rights herself, and he continues to just ricochet her around this entire area, around this entire rocky area, saying, "You are not Toji!" And I'm guessing this is Maki counting 6, 7, 8, 13, 14. The sin of the insignificant is ignorance of strength. No one understood Toji except possibly for Satoru. And then Maki gets up. Even after being cratered into the ground, she gets up, but she gets kicked all across the forest as Naoya continues to try and, manhandle her, but she just keeps tanking it. "It's not you!" He grabs her by the leg and then slams her into multiple spots and then throws her away for her to slam into the wall. "The one who stands with them is me!" He can't accept the fact that Maki is strong, and he's trying his best to fool. He's trying to cope. That's some serious copium. Serious copium. He's trying to put himself in the same place as Toji Zenin and Satoru Gojo. But Maki is showing that she has her own place amongst them two. "The one who stands with them is me!" And he hits Maki in the head. And she thinks, this is bad. Projection sorcery does not allow movement in ways that egregiously ignore the laws of physics and trajectories. Furthermore, there is an upper limit to the body's acceleration at the time of activating the curse technique. However, maintaining the curse technique allows speed to continuously build. "I won't stop. I won't make the same mistake as before. Strength is weight, and speed. I'll punch through her at top speed." And it shows Naoya using his curse technique to make himself run at full tilt in order to hit her at his most speed, his most highest speed and highest amount of strength. Then two hands claps together. And then Maki uses a Yo! Maki uses a new move. She claps her hands together and says, "Shiranui Gata." In exchange for Mai's life, Maki had gained a body of steel that had broken away from cursed energy, but she suffered injuries and lost blood fighting Ogi, and then fought against the Hei, so she knew she was at a disadvantage in a protracted fight against Naoya, who had already surpassed subsonic speed. And then Naoya's thinking, a head-on collision, huh? And then Maki smiles, glaring at him, like with eyes of Toji Zenin, going, "Let me embrace you." And then, as it shows the shockwave, like the sound barrier wave that's around Naoya, enveloping him, it shows Maki bringing her hands forward. It shows Naoya slapping her on the shoulder. When the palm of a combatant activating projection sorcery touches an opponent, that opponent must also move at 24 frames per second. Failure means 1 second of freezing. And then Naoya doubles back as the narration goes, failure means 1 second. Meanwhile, Naoya is still moving at top speed. "You were planning to receive the brunt of my attack and stop me from moving even if it broke your ribs. But I won't fall for such an obvious bait. You really are an imposter," thinks Naoya to himself. And before Naoya can do anything, a fist appears in front of his face. And then Maki says, 24 times, right? You and Naobito aren't just fast. Something felt strange. You can make 24 movements per second. With this body, I can finally see that. You imposter! And before Naoya can say anything, Maki brings her fist down on his face with such extreme force, it craters the ground and leaves his face dented in with the shape of her fist. Ooh, Maki! His face is so broken. She squashed his face. Like his eye is almost looking like it's coming out a little bit. And she just squashed his face completely. And Maki simply says,
Sorry. Say that again, would you?
And that's the end of chapter 151. Onwards to chapter 152, and last chapter for today, Perfect Preparation Epilogue. When the bully finally gets his comeuppance. When I say I am so happy to see this dude get decked, he didn't get the beheading treatment. This dude got the life just smashed out of him completely. This was like an Aizen versus Ichigo situation. Aizen and Naoya couldn't accept that the person they were facing were possibly stronger than them and thought that it was just some sort of fluke, only for them to get bodied in the end.
Mother!
No, stay back!
Mother, please listen to...
Why are you...
Back then? Why did you tell me to come back?
Oh, wait. No, this is... Oh no, this is still back at the Zenin place.
Mother.
No, stay back!
Mother, please listen to...
Why? Why are you...
Back then? Why did you tell me to come back?
Huh? What are you talking about? And Maki is just walking towards her mother. No, don't! Stop! No! And then there's just a spray of blood that goes across the walls. And then we see the ruins. We see the ruins of Zenin, of the Zenin house. All the kukuru are completely... All the kukuru are completely destroyed. Ogi, Zenin, and I think Jinta's dead too, along with Jinichi. They're all dead. And it shows the bloody remains. It shows blood all over where Naoya was punched, and there's huffing and puffing. And he's still alive, but his face is just completely smashed in. And he's struggling to even walk. So he didn't die, but he's struggling to walk.
That darn girl couldn't even finish me off.
But he stops. He stops because Maki's mother walks up behind him, bloodied around her neck, with a butcher knife in her hands. And then he grabs as hard as he can into the ground as he goes, "Give me a break. I can't use my cursed energy." Maki's mother digging the knife deep into his back. And then it just shows Maki's mother when she was younger, with both Mai and Maki going,
"I'm so glad I gave birth to you."
And then it cuts to Maki like an absolute unit, walking down the stairs from the Zenin household with Momo running up the stairs as she goes,
"Mai!"
And then Maki doesn't say anything. And then Momo starts to cry.
That's why I told you not to go.
And then Maki just says,
She's in your hands now.
And then Momo says,
"What are you going to do now, Maki?"
Members of the Zenin clan who were absent that day would soon die violent deaths. 6 members of the Hei, 9 members of the Akashi, and 21 members of the Kukuru unit. No residuals were found where they died, but trace amounts of cursed energy thought to have originated from a cursed tool weapon were detected in the body's wounds. Days later, the Gojo clan and Kamo clan proposed removing the Zenin clan from the big 3 families, but Jujutsu headquarters is keeping their verdict on hold. And just as a reminder, the Akashi are those who have curse techniques but do not meet the requirements for the Hei. In this volume, that's the end. That's the end. That's the end of volume 17. And now I can move on to the chapters that's on Viz in front of me instead of reading from like a physical volume now. But so, let's go over what we know. Tengen has evolved over the past 12 years because he didn't have a star vessel to the point where it is possible for Noritoshi Kamo to gain control of Tengen through cursed spirit manipulation. And Choso and Yuki have elected to stay behind in order to act as his guards, like last line of defense in order to keep Noritoshi from getting his hands on Tengen. Because if he gets his hands on Tengen, he'll be able to affect the entire world. Not just Tokyo, the entire world with cursed energy, and affect every person on the planet. Then we cut to everyone except for Choso and Yuki making their way to get cursed tools in order to find out more about this culling game that is going to be pitting people who have been marked by Noritoshi in order to figure out how to save these people from this game, because people who don't participate in a certain amount of time just immediately die. And Sumiki, the sister of Fushiguro, is caught up in this. So they're trying to find ways to circumnavigate this. Then it cuts to Maki, who makes her way back to the Zenin household, who tries to get her hands on some cursed tools in order to help everyone else out. She gets caught by Ogi Zenin, and it shows that Mai was basically used as like a bargaining chip, and she got injured as well. Mai and Maki then get tossed into a training room full of cursed spirits that Ogi intends to have them die. And with Mai's last breath, she basically gives all remaining power over to Maki, who then proceeds to not only butcher every single cursed spirit inside of that training room, but moves and operates with a ferocity and strength akin to that of Toji Zenin. So intimidated that this was the first time in years that Ogi has ever felt fear. And before he can even make a move, Maki cuts his head clean through, killing him instantly. Then, when the Kukuru come and try to apprehend her, in true Kill Bill style fashion, she butchers every single one of like the Kukuru ninja unit, kills them. Then after killing them, she winds up taking out Chojuro, which is another curse user of the Hei, which is part of what Jinichi and Chojuro are a part of. She ends up killing Jinichi with no effort at all. Jinta's not able to discern this because his eyes have exploded, so he can't see anything. And then she goes up against Naoya Zenin, and even though his speed is superior to hers, her body has gotten to a point where it is inhumanly durable. She's getting thrown around at almost sonic speeds, and she's just brushing it off, constantly getting up, ignoring any injuries she's getting. She's tanking every little bit of this. And then it gets to a point where she's learned to see how fast she moves. And then with one punch, she dents his face in and absolutely bodies him. And even though he survives, he then gets stabbed in the back by Maki's mother, who was also dying at the same time with her last remaining breath, stabs Naoya Zenin in the back. And then Maki walks out with the body of Mai and leaves it with Momo, and then proceeds to kill even more members of the Zenin clan. I knew Maki was the one to watch for, but I didn't know she was gonna turn into a beast like this. Yo, this series is awesome! This series is awesome! I didn't know Maki was gonna become a unit like this. I knew she was strong, but I didn't know she was gonna become Toji Zenin strong. Oh, I can't wait to read next week's chapters. And I'm thinking about doing it in a way where I just go through every chapter until I fully catch up. Actually, you know what? What day will that be? Oh, no, that's going to be this. That's going to be the... I might be able to pull that off, because next week on Thursday, PlayStation will be having a showcase, and I want to do a reaction to that. But that's going to be at 4 o'clock later. I believe I'll be able to catch up to every single chapter of Jujutsu next week. And I'll be fully caught up with the entire series. Yo, I'm about to fully catch up with Jujutsu. I can't wait. I can't wait. But that's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me not keep you here any longer than I already had. Apologies for the moments I've walked away. Apologies for the moments where I was fumbling my words. I hope you all enjoyed my live dramatic reading of Volume 17 of Jujutsu Kaisen. The story is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to fully catch up next week. That's all I got. All I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Oh man, this series has just gotten so amazing!